Cool. Okay, so we'll get into it. Have just kind of the general updates and things that are going on, things that we've been working on, and all that, and then a couple kind of topics that we want to talk about and try to address and just get your guys' opinion on. So that we've been talking about internally. So, yeah, I guess first things first is Beanifesto, obviously in the review pipeline. Guy, you're well aware of where we are with that. We have a completed draft that's getting reviewed, and Rob is working on the images, and that is still planned to go out this coming Monday, if I'm not mistaken, right, Rob? We should be good for that still. I guess the images might be potentially Tuesday.
I'm not sure, but according to Triton, the requests were apparently easy AF. Hopefully those will be ready by
Nice.
Monday. All other things going according to schedule. So yeah, I'm pretty optimistic that we publish Monday.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, planning Monday to release that. If not Tuesday for sure, but we'll have we'll update there if that changes. We obviously had the
on that topic. We got a request from the PR team to maybe move that to maybe Wednesday so that they have enough time to pitch it out, and then we can have maybe one of the bigger outlets pick it up, like a CoinDesk, like a Cointelegraph, like a Dow Times or something. So that might be a little bit variable. It might be like they're saying maybe Wednesday, maybe like even a Thursday. So definitely next week. But I think like having a good strong PR push is kind of maybe worth pushing it back a day or two, and having like a big bang to go with it. So just something to keep on the radar. Well, PR team will chat a little bit and they'll kind of give their insight, but just want to put it on your radar that this discussion just happened today with the PR team, so I didn't get a chance to update you, Joey, but yeah, it's we think it might be like maybe a Wednesday.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, definitely seems worth it, in my opinion. Wait for that. So yeah, we'll update in the chat, obviously, with where we're at with that. We have the kind of just usual content plan going for Bean Farmers. Going to be really doing a lot of discussion around Silo V3 and everything that comes with that, and continuing to build off the Beanifesto, and then hopefully other kind of PR pushes that we can get there. Bean Bowl, we've got the extra firepower going now, and getting a lot of memes out there. So hopefully getting a little bit more engaged in some replies and getting some increased engagement and viewership there, that we think will be valuable. So we're excited about that. But yeah, I mean, really, really looking to just continue to capitalize on the upgrades that are coming, that are going to continue to happen over the next 6 to 8 weeks, and really trying to get a push on socials there. Then we obviously had the Blockster article from the PR team, which was great. And yeah, I guess kind of jumping off of that, PR, do you have anything that you want to bring up in terms of what's on the schedule besides, or I guess update on the Beanifesto stuff, and then just anything in general on the schedule?
No, it was more of just making sure we're on the same page of the timing of the Beanifesto. Because yeah, as Ishan indicated, we're trying to make a push. It's late this week. So we'll want to make a push for it early next week. Just send a pitch out to people so they have it on their radar. So yeah, I mean, just in terms of Beanifesto, that was basically the only thing.
Okay, cool. Awesome. And then we have, I know we brought this up a couple of weeks ago, but we are going to be trying to get Julius on the Essential podcast ASAP. And yeah, I mean, hopefully there will be some good stuff to talk about with what's going on with Beanstalk currently. And then also just in general, getting them out there. Yeah, I mean, I love the way that they talk about Beanstalk protocols. So I think that's just useful. And continue to look for any other podcast opportunities we can find. But that one is on the radar, and we're going to be trying to close that as soon as possible. So that's kind of just general updates about what's going on with the usual. If anyone has questions or comments or anything, please feel free to chime in. And then, yeah, as I mentioned in the beginning, we do have kind of some things that we've been thinking about internally, and I just want to bring up and try to ideate a little bit with you, Guy, and anyone else who wants to chime in. So obviously, like, the numbers aren't where we want them to be in terms of Twitter engagement and in general just follower, whatever. All the numbers aren't exactly where we're wanting them to be. So we're thinking about different ways to improve that and have a couple ideas. One being some sort of like Zealy Scrib3 community type stuff. If that has if that would be of any interest to people in the Beanstalk community, and we can get a discussion going in the Discord. But I mean, I know there'd be a lot of feedback just given how active the community is, but seeing if that would provide any value.
Sorry, what did you say? Daily what?
Zealy or Scrib3, kind of like it's pretty much an objective based way to interact with protocols. It's kind of like an incentive system with experience points and whatnot, and you do certain activities and get involved in whatever way you want. And there's rewards that could be monetary, non-monetary. We are kind of starting to do it with some other clients. Haven't explored it too much in depth. Ishan, I don't know if you have anything to add here. It's some other projects do it, and it definitely can be a success. It isn't
like a community incentivized system. So like, one, it's good as far as just purely discovery, right? So like you're getting on this platform that people are visiting all the time, and then we can create objectives like join the Discord, deposit in the silo, sow in the field, like we can kind of set whatever objectives we want, and then we can incentivize them with like Bean, right? So
layer 3. Is that what you said?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. I'm
They
familiar.
recently
Got it.
rebranded. They recently rebranded to Zealy. It's now called Zealy. But yeah, just wanted to kind of get an idea of like, we'll kind of take care of everything on that side. So like, just want to make sure there's nothing, no like side oppositions to it, or just like, like we're still kind of figuring out exactly how we want to structure the campaign. But,
and we can draft like a more formal kind of proposal, and write out like exactly what it would be like and get opinions from the community. But yeah, I mean, just kind of wanted to see general initial thoughts on what that would be like, on what you guys think about that.
I don't know if I have any thoughts on the efficacy, but certainly no objections.
Okay.
We've done this before. I don't remember what kind of tasks were on there, and I think we did fund it with beans. So I don't know if that's like, I'm looking at the link, and unfortunately it's broken, but yeah, 404s. So I don't remember quite what was on there. But there is a snapshot somewhere I can try to find that might have detailed what we did.
Okay, cool. I can try to dive into that too if you don't end up finding it. I'll see if I can see if anything's still out there. But yeah, we'll talk and get a little bit more of a written thing out. But yeah, that's kind of one angle that we've been thinking about. And then
I just dropped
Another-
the proposal in the Scribe channel. Basically, it was sort of like a hodgepodge of stuff. Like if you make an introduction to a podcast, or write a small tweet thread explaining Beanstalk, put the seedling and money emojis in your Twitter name, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
You can check out the rest of it in that markdown proposal that I just dropped in the Scribe channel. But yeah, I mean, I guess the obvious next question is like, did that work?
Do anything. Yeah. So this was beginning of
it's so hard to say. There's like so many factors that led to Beanstalk growing back then. Yeah, it's hard to say. I think people, I mean, in general, like, for example, on this like number 6 item, I saw lots of people, they did put the emoji in their Twitter name. We did have a fair amount of class attendance at the time, but also people were making money on Beanstalk at the time, so.
Yeah. What's kind of the incentive that we would be able to provide for something like this? Obviously, I'm guessing this budget is probably not in alignment with where we're at right now. It would, I mean, and we can maybe try to get a little bit creative in terms of non-monetary things that we think of. That
I mean, we can
try to
throw
come up
throw some beans at this. Just
Uh-huh.
tell me how much.
Yeah.
It's hard to know.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. And then, yeah, another thing is kind of, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly how this would look. It definitely would be different than normal, but kind of potentially exploring getting KOLs involved, and it might be, obviously it's going to be kind of a tricky sell, and we'll see how we can approach that and try to craft a unique value prop for them. But yeah, I mean, was this something that you guys worked on in the past at all? I know obviously everything was kind of really organic. That's been the thesis from the beginning. But yeah, is this something that you guys have thought about before, explored before, just getting in touch with different people on Twitter that can talk about Beanstalk, getting beyond kind of getting Publius on a podcast and getting PR stuff, like getting KOLs, some high value Twitter accounts, working with Beanstalk.
I mean, I guess theoretically that's what we did with Chris Black. Sort of don't think that was extremely fruitful. I don't know if you guys saw the article. And to me, that was not because he didn't talk positively about Beanstalk. Like, that was not the point. But was meant to be a quality critique, which I don't feel like we really got. And I don't know. I mean, if anything, my takeaway from that is it's like hard to. You sort of need some intrinsic motivation to some extent to like study Beanstalk, and I don't know. Maybe you can pay someone to do that. I have no idea, frankly. But I guess anyway, that would be, one example where I guess we tried to do that. So it's not like we're against it. I mean, what are you asking specifically? Like paying people to tweet, like what? Yeah, what exactly would you hope that people do, or these KOLs as you describe them?
Yeah, I mean, it's different for each kind of it looks like a different structure for each protocol that we work with, and I mean, it's kind of similar to the Zealy stuff. It will be more useful to kind of draft up a formal ideation about exactly what this would look like. Yeah, I mean, potentially, kind of monetary compensation for writing about beans, for talking about Beanstalk, just to get some extrinsic growth, like people that reach different audiences, because We still feel like we're kind of stuck in the bubble. So trying to find ways to reach outside of that with all this stuff coming up, and the upgrade pipeline, could like it's kind of trying to follow the momentum and roll with that. So yeah, I mean that's in general, like it would follow some sort of high, like at a high level, it'd be some sort of compensation in terms of talking about Beanstalk and whatever platform these people use. It varies drastically from KOL to KOL, and then obviously from project to project. But yeah, I mean we can pin down a little bit more specific of a
Yeah,
proposal.
I guess the answer is it depends, but not opposed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, cool.
have at it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we'll work internally on getting those done and over, and yeah, just discussing that in the Scrib channel. Ishan, do you have anything to add on it, either of those points?
I think yeah, it's something like I think what's really important is like making sure they're value aligned. I think like that was the cool thing about Bleck, is that he was very like value aligned. Like obviously we're not going to come out here and ask for like some shitcoin shillers to like a like shill Beanstalk. I think we're going to be a lot more meticulous about it, but just wanted to kind of gauge the overall sentiment towards it, which yeah, I think you bring up a good point about Bleck, is that you guys aren't against it. It's just yeah, like we're totally conscious that if we're going to do it, we're going to do it in like a tasteful way, like very ecosystem aligned, but just wanted to gauge kind of the overall willingness.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Cool. Yeah, we'll put together a list of people and thoughts about kind of what exactly we're going to be going for. So you'll hear more from that. Cool. I don't have really anything else at the moment. Ishan, is there anything else aside from those 2 points and everything else that I've covered? Or anyone else from Scrib?
And Kyle, if there's anything you want to add about the PR stuff, or if you want to go through kind of the report, if you feel like we.
Yeah. Not trying to jump directly into the meeting to ask some of these questions, but there's just a few questions, at least I have from the PR side, about how I'm looking to pitch and present Bean as a protocol, etc. So, I mean, one of the ways we've been trying to think about how to pitch Bean and present it to different journalists and people is how it differentiates with its multi-block MEV resistance, and how that is just different than like what is happening basically on like mainnet Ethereum. There was a podcast, the Bankless podcast, on I think it was Monday this week, that was all about the MEV updates, how Ethereum is planning to go about it. And basically they said, oh, this is like a multi-year thing. Like this is gonna take us a long time to figure out. And so just hammering into that note of like, okay, well now on Ethereum, it's a multi-year process. But Beanstalk's doing it right now. They're finding solutions as we speak. So just going in and trying to get some more clarification on the nuances of that. If you guys could speak to that, to just give a little more detail, that would be great.
I mean, I can't speak at all to what was talked about on the podcast, but would be happy to watch it and provide some input as far as like what like Ethereum roadmap pieces are different from what Beanstalk is working on.
Okay.
But
yeah,
I can't really say much about it at the moment.
Sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, one of the because like that's one of the things is it starts to get into the like pretty technical weeds where some of it goes over my head, to be honest. But it's it's just, I think, a really apropos nuance where it's something I've been just seeing happening.
You have a link?
Yeah,
Maybe web channel.
yeah, give me a second. I mean, and it wouldn't need to be something that needs an answer immediately. One sec. Yeah, it's all about how they're planning to burn MEV stuff. I'll drop it in the Scrib channel. One second. If I can find the Scrib channel. Here we go. Yeah, this one. I mean, they have a written update here, and then it's more or less how they're like planning to burn, try and find a way to burn the like rewards that these validators are reaping, essentially, and trying to, again, just control and kind of tamper down the limits of what these validators can take when it comes to every like block. But then, I mean, again, it doesn't have to be something we hammer out today, because it might just be it's an ongoing process. Because it sounds like again with Ethereum, it's going to take a long time. So if that's going to happen, we can really find a way to just hit this angle, and make sure we do it right.
Cool. I'll check it out.
And then there's two other things here that we wanted to just mention is so like when we're going about pitching Publius as an entity, and again, this might just need to be, if they're not on the call today, it might be something we just post in a chat, but we want to just be clear about how we present them. It's a group of 3 people, but like if we're going to pitch them as an entity, like what is the best way to do that? As like okay, can we share any part of their background, like maybe where they studied, things along the lines of like, okay, if they're where they're trained, like where they have their economic training, if it's something we can use that could be an asset in conversations, we could leverage that and be like, hey, they're trained from XYZ institution, and this is why you should listen to them, because they are of this training, whether it's university training, whatever type of job experience.
Essentially, what would be helpful is like if you could help us build some kind of like boilerplate on Publius, so that when we go to journalists, they're like, okay, well, what the hell's Publius? Then we're like, okay, well, like this is it, right? And this is why they're a big deal, and this is why this is really cool. I don't know if
Yeah, I mean, and to grow off Ishan's point there too, like even growing off of the like, okay, what does Publius even mean? Okay, yeah, it's the pseudonym of Alexander Hamilton from the Federalist Papers, blah blah blah. Like just getting the idea of why Publius did it and understanding that just goes a long ways to explaining to people who want to hear about Beanstalk. It's to the point of what we were talking about earlier about getting like social engagement, right? Like once people understand that, it might start to click to them. Like, okay, wow, this is really cool. This is important. There's actually legit people creating this, social or this type of monetary experiment. This is why I should listen, basically.
Would it be helpful to just use their names? Are you saying like the Publius thing is like a point of friction? Or you're just saying like
no, it's not. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, pseudonyms and aliases go almost hand in hand in the crypto world. I wouldn't say that at all. We just want to be clear about it. Okay, there's 3 people that we want to be pitching as. What is the best way we should be doing that? What is the clearest way we can explain to people that Publius is the pseudonym of these three guys who are really intelligent. They have a prowess for economics.
you need a quick way to explain to people why Publius is really cool. Why like they should listen to what they say.
Yeah, I mean, and we can do that. We can create the cool spin of it. We just need the little like factual elements of it that they're willing to share. If it's their legit biographical data, cool, that's great. We can use that. If they want to be, typographed individually, that's cool as well. We could start pitching them individually. But at this point, what we understand is we should be pitching them as Publius, this group of founders. That's one entity going under this pseudonym. But again, what is the like ammo we can be using in our gun at the gunfight, basically, to take this forward?
Yeah, all good questions that I don't know I'm really the best equipped to answer.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we can ask him to hop on the next one. We could have a call sooner than that. In the future, maybe it makes sense if, if you guys have specific questions that, you expect that Publius is going to be the best to answer, I could bump him in our DM before the call.
Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, I don't know that I have much to say. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no
this could-
problem. A call would be great to just sync with them within the next week, most likely. If we can do that and just get on the same page with them, that would be perfect.
This could probably just be written, right? I mean, if you're just looking for like a fact sheet of universities names that you can drop, like how long they've been working and whatever, like what their programming experience, economic history, all that. Like if that's kind of just the fact sheet you're looking for, I'm sure that'd be probably easier to just for them to write it out.
Yeah, it could be 100% done async as well if they're not available for a call. It's also good to just always chat and just get on the same page. But if they're unavailable, we can always just send them a couple questions, and then.
Oh, don't think that they're unavailable, but they're just probably not going to join these calls by default. So we should let them know. Is all.
Okay.
We can definitely. I'm sure we can schedule something if that's what you'd prefer.
Okay. Yeah. Then.
We can try Monday sometime. We can coordinate in that group DM.
Okay. Yeah. And then, I mean, the final question we had was just, again, solidifying what sorts of like events and things they would want to be interested in over the next
that would
foreseeable future.
That'd be helpful to ask them.
On the same call. Exactly.
Totally.
So, yeah, we can just save that for later. So cool. That's all we have.
Cool. Let's try to set up something on Monday.
Great.
I mean, are there particular times that would work best for y'all?
Monday, pretty open.
Would
in the morning?
In the morning, okay.
I'm on Pacific time, but I mean, it would be probably when at least Patrick can join as well. So I would think he's available mornings too. I mean,
how's 9 a.m. Monday?
Is that Pacific time?
Pacific, correct.
Yeah, I would think that works. There's nothing on my calendar. I don't know. Patrick, please interject if you...
Well, I'll be technically out of office on Monday. It is Discovery Day in the Cayman Islands, which is our Columbus Day.
I can always...
I can make it to a meeting if the wife doesn't want me to go to the beach. But I'm free up till...
Amazing.
Like 12 or 1 o'clock. So 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time is the first meeting I would have on Monday.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm not following. So you want to have it after that?
No, I'm free up until then. So anytime in the morning, early afternoon.
So yeah, 9 a.m. Pacific time. I mean, we're throwing around a lot of time zones here, but
cool.
9 a.m. Pacific time, which is noon Eastern time. It sounds like it works.
We'll check with Publius.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. All right, that's everything I think from our end. Ishan,
sweet,
all good.
Yeah, I think that's all good. Yeah, we'll follow up with some of this PR stuff. I pinged us in a group that we have, Kyle, with Publius, so maybe we can do it there, or we can try to set that time on Monday. But either way, I think we do need like a PR download from them. So I'll try to get that on the books anyway.
Okay, great.
Appreciate the time, guy.
Yep. Thank you. I'll ping you later today once the revisions are in.
Sounds good. See you
Good
guys.
question. Thanks, guys.